up, everyone? It's your boy Soju, back again with another video game review, this time for Layers of Fear from 2016. To start things off, I would absolutely recommend playing through this game. If you like to watch horror movies, if you like to go to haunted houses, if you like being scared, then play through Layers of Fear. It scared the crap out of me, and I had a ton of fun playing through it. But before I get too far into it, let's go ahead and drop that spoiler warning.
Spoiler warning.
So Layers of Fear, starting off with the positives, the first thing being, as a horror fan, I really had a lot of fun with this game, and a lot of it comes down to the way the gameplay is set up. And it was really refreshing to me because I've been playing a lot of games this year, and I've played a lot of good games, puzzle games and first-person shooters and stuff like that. But this game was specifically set up to pretty much just let you explore. And in that way, it plays out a lot like a horror movie, only, you're controlling it. Or also it's kind of like going through a haunted house. And it's kind of timed really well too, because it's a pretty short game in the scope of things. It took me, I think, about 3 hours to finish, but it feels perfect for that type of gameplay where essentially most of the time you're just exploring, and that felt really refreshing to me, and it allowed for some really great, genuine horror. And yes, there are like some jump scares in this game, which in this aspect were really fun to me. There's a lot of great tension that really builds up, and I never felt like any of the jump scares were like super cheap or anything like that. But there are jump scares, but there's also some really cool genres that they explore horror wise. So the main thing is, it's another big positive for me, is it's kind of based around this haunted house. And so the setting is really cool because it's got this Victorian style house. So you got a little bit of like a gothic horror kind of mixed in there, and you have this haunted house aspect. But it's not just that, you're also controlling this character that's very unreliable. You're also dealing with this kind of mentally unstable potential killer, and it adds this mystery aspect, and it really just feels really genuine to that time period of horror, like the gothic style horror, like old school Victorian style horror. And I really enjoyed all the aspects of that as well. Just the opening soundtrack, sometimes before I would start playing the game, there's this theme song that plays, and it's just so soothing, but at the same time a little unnerving, because you know kind of what it's attached to, and they do just such a great job between all of these different things, the sound and the settings, of creating this great atmospheric horror that I really just enjoyed completely diving into and experiencing, especially with the gameplay that kind of supported that as well. So just so many positives from this game. There are a few negatives that I'll touch on. The biggest thing being, and this was a huge disappointment, was the overall ending. And the thing about this is, there are apparently multiple endings, and I just happened to get the one that is just a circled loop where it just kind of makes you start playing the game again. And it makes sense in some way in the context of how the story unfolds, and this artist who's really struggling, and he struggles again and again and again and feels like he's failing, and it's this mental breakdown that he experiences. So it makes sense, but it just was not satisfying in the aspects of the gameplay. I wanted a resolution. I had so much fun kind of unlocking the mystery of this game, the mystery of this story, and what this man did to his family throughout the whole thing. And to make me just start off and playing it again with no resolution, it was such a bummer, because it feels like it's such a cop-out that a lot of games I've been experiencing lately do, where they just kind of throw you back in. And that was really unfortunate, especially knowing that there were other endings. And I was so kind of put off by it that I didn't even look up the other endings. And another negative to me is, I don't really feel the need to go back and replay it to achieve these alternate endings. I wish they had kind of just stuck with one or maybe even two that felt like they had some kind of good resolution. Because the thing about the negative aspect of this gameplay is I love the exploring aspect and the just experiencing it. But I think the way that you achieve different endings is in the way you handle some of the puzzles. But because the puzzles felt very secondary to the main gameplay, they didn't feel very interesting or well designed. There was one particular puzzle towards the end where you're just having to collect like these checkers, and they're scattered around like this dark room, and it felt just like a way to incorporate some sort of different gameplay, and it just didn't feel necessary, and it felt tedious and frustrating at times. And thinking about having to go through those again just to unlock an ending, which I feel like I deserved anyways. Like I went through and explored this house and everything like that, and I was just so let down by the ending, which was so unfortunate because mostly I just absolutely loved playing through this game. It really was just towards the end where I had to realize, I even like was hoping like, no, I hope this isn't the end. And as I continue to play and realize, nope, I'm just playing the game again, it was just such a disappointing ending to me. But those are my positives and my negatives. Let's go ahead and get into the final score.
Overall, I'm going to give this game a 4 out of 5. I did have a lot of fun playing through it, but unfortunately the ending and the overall replayability do drop it down a little bit for me. If you're interested, I have some Layers of Fear gameplay right here on our YouTube page, and if you want to watch me play other horror video games live, check us out on Twitch at twitch.tv/StraightChillingPodcast. If you've played through this game, let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, until next time, everyone, please don't forget to keep chilling.